everybody. Welcome to Monday Morning Motivation. Today in person with amazing Sofia and myself, Janine. And Alysia is joining us from the other side. Yes. Oh, hey, Pete. So nice. Thanks for sending us a beautiful smile. Yes. So today you have three amazing coaches here. And our topic is staying centered during the holidays. Whether we talk about Christmas, we talk about New Year, Chinese New Year is also coming up. And for everybody who's new to Monday Morning Motivation, if you want to join us in our WeChat community, just scan one of the QR codes, either the Chinese version or the English version. And now let's have a look. What is Monday Morning Motivation about? I founded this more than 2.5 years ago. We have nearly 3,000 members all over China now. People joining us from different countries, even in the mornings. And the whole purpose is, just like it's a community of productive, positive, and supportive early birds. So we just want to help you guys to start in a really good way in a new day and week. The more positive, the more inspired you are, the better the rest of the week will be. And if you ever miss one of our webinars, no problem, we got you covered. Just become our MMM member and you get access to all the webinars. We have discounts with our amazing coaches and partners. Alysia is one of them. Sophia, what else do we have?
We have our amazing 365 Days of Motivation book. So especially now that the year is coming to an end, it's a very nice book to do some journaling, to get some inspirational quotes. Then you can also do some goal setting, so it's a really nice book. Feel free to give it as a gift to your friends, to your family, or to yourself.
And last but not least,
yes, we do all of this for free, and we are very happy to do it. But of course, feel always free to support Monday Morning Motivation, to let it grow. And you will also be supporting the environment at the same time. So half of the proceeds actually go to the 1 million tree project in Inner Mongolia.
Yes, and in a few days, I'm going to send a few thousand RMB to them. So thank you so much for your help and donations. Yes. Okay, guys, let's get it started. And I would say, Sofia, the stage is yours. Guys, the next 20 minutes are going to be us presenting to you. And then the stage is yours and you can ask lots of questions. You can share your own experiences as you like.
That's right. Thank you so much, Janine. Thank you to all of you that are here this morning with us. Awesome to see you. Feel free to open your cameras, turn on your cameras, just join us. We love to see your beautiful Monday morning faces. And the topic that I'm going to be talking about now, here with sprinkles as well, is festive stress and end of year preparation work. So when we think about holiday season, how do you feel when you realize that Christmas and the end of the year is around the corner? How do you usually feel? Write down a keyword, a word about how do you feel when you realize, okay, it's Christmas time, it's New Year, New Year is about around the corner. How do you feel?
I actually feel you're not wearing enough Christmas decorations, right. Sophia.
Now I'm like a Christmas tree. How do you feel? Just feel free to share in the chat down below. Yes. So usually people say Christmas is the most wonderful time of the year, right? It's the season to be jolly, right? So we have all of these ideas. Again, very idealistic ideas about what Christmas is supposed to be, what Christmas is supposed to look like, right? It's supposed to be the most wonderful time of the year. But what happens if Christmas doesn't meet our expectations? Because again, we are setting the bar so high, right? So what happens if it's actually not the most wonderful time of the year this year? So we set very high expectations. We check our WeChat moments. It's everyone having lots of fun, everyone in amazing gatherings, having the best time of their lives, right? We check our families, the amazing Christmas tables, with the desserts that we love so much. Our families gathering together, maybe especially for the expats, right? Our family back home is having a lot of fun together, and we cannot make it, right? Sometimes, especially now in these different times. So we start feeling a lot of pressure, right? And we actually put that pressure in our shoulders. And we go back to those amazing childhood memories, watching Home Alone with our family, cooking together, just staying home, feeling really cozy, um, you know, the gifts, unwrapping the gifts, all of that. And we have that setting. So it's like our mind has that clear picture of what Christmas should look like, right? But in reality, Christmas won't always meet those expectations. Like, so sometimes Christmas, and especially these 2 years, right, with COVID and all plans actually got changed, right? So maybe Christmas is not supposed to be just like that. There are many ways of spending Christmas, of spending the holiday season, that don't necessarily need to be the way we expect it to be. So we have these high expectations of what's perfect, happy family, celebrations, gifts, but we cannot always live up to those ideals. So 2021 has been a challenging year, to say the least, and the holidays feel a little bit different. And the good news is that's okay, that's normal, that's fine. It's not a big deal. So how to cope with this year-end stress? Because at the end of the year, literally, at the end of the day, we have lots of preparations to do, the Christmas decorations, the gifts, right? The Secret Santa, because this year, at least me, I got like 20 Secret Santas. And wow. I was like, how should I deal with that many amount of gifts, right? So it starts to feel a little bit overwhelming, especially if you don't do enough preparation. So something that I find very useful is really planning. Doing a mental rehearsal. How do I want my Christmas to be like this year? But not being, very focused on this ultimate goal, but just in a way to prepare yourself, to put yourself in the mindset that you want to be, and also make plan. So, what gifts am I going to buy this year? Stick to a budget, because we often feel overwhelmed because we just spend so much money on gifts. And again, in a way to somehow cover this emotional need, right? Because it's basically we use these gifts somehow as a way to show that we love someone. But sometimes, the most meaningful gifts are not even the priciest ones. Something that is also very important is also to reach out to people, reach out to your family, reach out to your old friends. Maybe sometimes we just feel lonely. And to be honest, this year, during Christmas Day, I just took this conscious decision of staying home. Like, I celebrated the Christmas Eve with friends. I celebrated yesterday with friends. But on Christmas Day, I just felt like staying home, having some self-care, taking time to rest and, just connect with myself. And that's okay. It's the way I wanted it to be. But if you feel like, connecting with people, just reach out to people. And be realistic. Don't set these high expectations that, don't only depend on you. So just don't expect the holidays to be perfect, and acknowledge your feelings, right? It's okay to feel not okay, even if it's holiday season. And something that I found very useful was learning to say no. Because, for example, on Christmas Day, I had some invitations, to stay with friends, to go party, whatever, but I didn't feel like doing it. And that's okay. So I just said no. Even though my inner pleaser, I think Janine would like this, my inner pleaser was telling me, go, because, your friend, he's new in town, he's here. But I was like, no, I'm feeling like staying home. I will stay home. And something that I found also very important was keeping the healthy habits, because again, holidays are usually a period of excess. So we just eat too much. We somehow in our memories, Christmas is all about food, about yummy food, right? And just maybe partying until a very late hour. But redefine your own standards. How do I want to be in this holiday? Do I want to overindulge, or do I want to really keep in track to my habits? Because at the end of the day, it's what makes me feel good. And last but not least, have fun and be present.
Woo! Have fun. Okay, I'm gonna hand over to amazing Alysia now before I finish off. Then Alysia, the stage is yours. You see, we're having fun at Monday Morning Motivation. It's all about having fun, as Sofia just said. Let's start with positive emotions this day. You are on mute. I'm not good in reading from the lips, to be honest.
Non-verbal communication.
Exactly, that's what she said yesterday.
Just kidding. Okay, so... All right, so stress with family. So now we're going to talk about what happens there, because we have two different situations now that happen. We have stress with family when we're with them. And then this year we have, with COVID, the whole new thing of stress with family when we can't be with them. So we've got both. So we're going to talk a little bit about both of those scenarios so that you can see. So if you'll notice, a lot of the procedures of what Sofia was talking about is what we would recommend in this scenario too. So the first thing is, she had talked about visualizing. Yeah, this is making a plan ahead of time. So if you're going to be with close family, the first thing you need to understand is there's patterns, behavioral patterns that we have with different people, and especially our family. A lot of times when we are in a family situation, we have to learn how to fit into that network. And so we have certain behavioral patterns that we have in order to feel accepted, loved, and belonged. And sometimes if our family is dysfunctional, as most of them are, then what happens is we have certain dysfunctional patterns to try to stay within that. And so we have to, first of all, be cognizant of that. We have to be aware that this happens. And when you start stepping back from yourself in these situations, and you're seeing those and you're getting that awareness, it'll help you to acknowledge those feelings and to start avoiding that. So to give you an example, one of the things that would happen a lot of times with my family is that sometimes we always tell jokes. Okay, this is like a thing we do. And we can be very sarcastic. It's like a second language to us. And what we decided we always would do is make these like really kind of like, I don't know, biting remarks back and forth. And then I started to realize that this was a very passive aggressive thing at some point, from studying and personal development and psychology. And I said, okay, I'm not going to do that. I'm still going to be sarcastic, but not at the expense of somebody else. And so I started to back away from that. And I had to make a plan because nobody else had that revelation, and I'm not going to push them to change yet. So I had to step back and say, okay, when this happens, what am I going to do? And so I would either be quiet, or I would tell some other joke, or sometimes I would self-deprecate to kind of at least get it off of me so that we could transition. So I had a plan. I was aware of that this was a toxic pattern that was happening in my family. I acknowledged that it wasn't good, that I wasn't feeling good about it. And then I was able to make a new boundary so that now when I'm telling these sarcastic jokes, it's never at the expense of somebody else, right? And then I focused on connecting to my family. So then we would tell jokes about stuff that we connected with, whether it was a tradition or an experience or something like that. So in these situations, you want to find your boundaries and stick to them. You have to stick to them. And a boundary is any kind of condition that you're making to make sure that your needs are met without making it at the expense of somebody else's needs, right? In a positive way. So for example, if in the holidays, I remember one time my family was like, oh, we're going to get up at like 5 a.m. Like actually a little earlier than 5 a.m. because we're going to go on a trip. And I said, nope. My personal boundary is I don't get up before 5 a.m. There's only one time in my life I've done that, and that was to see Machu Picchu. And that's a wonder of the world, so it kind of warranted it. But I won't get up before 5 a.m. And I said, I can just drive separate, you know? And then eventually they chose to do 5 a.m. and it was fine. They understood. And then we were fine. We got to our destination. Everything was fine. But that was an example of boundaries. I kept those boundaries and went there. Now, if you're feeling very divided from your close family when you're there and it's stressing you out, find ways to connect. What are the things that connect you? And focus on those, because that's going to actually help you to stay positive. And lastly, if you're having problems still with your family and it's really, really toxic, then you need to get help. If it's a strategy that you need, a coach is good. But if it's something like a trauma or something that's really, really putting you into a bad psychological state, then you need to talk to a counselor. Now, this is the new problem. The new problem that we have is distance. And I know a lot of us are feeling this. I myself have not been able to see my family in over 2 years, and it is very difficult. You know, for me, I have little nieces and I miss them terribly. They're growing so fast. So in this situation, the same kinds of patterns with a little bit of difference are necessary. The first thing is to have a strategy or a plan. For me, I kind of failed at this on Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve night, I was by myself and I was hoping to talk to my family, but I had not made the plan, and they're 13 hours behind. And so I wasn't able to actually video call with them. And it was really sad for me because then I was alone and I wasn't able to talk to them. And that was because I should have had a better plan in place. All right. So I learned from that. Find a way to participate with your family or friends, or even if it's your Shanghai family or whatever, you know, find a way. So for me, what we did was my family got a tripod that holds the phone, and then they actually would put the phone up, and then they were able to actually see the whole like tree and the girls opening their gifts, my little nieces. And because you're sitting there in the viewpoint that they chose, it's almost like I was sitting there with them. And they would interact, and sometimes the girls would come up to the screen and show me their gifts. And that was a way to participate. You can also do letter writing, old-fashioned letter writing, back and forth to feel like you're more with them. You can have a certain kind of way that you chat. You could do a game that you do online. One way that I've participated with family before is to actually use screen share and watch a movie. Like you could actually watch a movie with somebody over, you know, Zoom or whatever. That's another way that you can do it. Make sure you acknowledge your feelings. So when I woke up on Christmas Day, I wasn't feeling great, and I had this poem in my head, and it wasn't very, very merry, but it was really a reality of, here I am. It's supposed to be Christmas. It doesn't really feel like Christmas because I'm here and I can't be with my family. And I wrote a poem and I shared it It was an act of bravery on my part, but it really did help other people because they sent a message to me saying, this is exactly how I felt. I really appreciated it. And that was really me acknowledging my feelings. And because I put it in a poem and I was vulnerable and I put it out there, it helped some other people to acknowledge and validate their feelings. So understand that it's normal to feel lonely and upset when you can't be with your family doing the same traditions that you're used to. That if that has become a big part of your identity, it's natural for you to feel very different when you can't be there doing those things. Find other connections. So for me, I was very fortunate that my best friend was able to come over during Christmas Day. We made a Christmas meal, watched Christmas movies, exchange gifts. And then yesterday at Solwell Center, a whole bunch of us, including Janine, got together and we put up a tree, we decorated it, we had a little party. And so sometimes when you can't be with a certain family, like your blood relatives, you need to make your Shanghai family. You know, Sofia and Janine are part of my Shanghai family, and we all help each other in that way. So, trying to find connections is the best way to combat that loneliness that you might feel when you're away from your family. And lastly, again, if you're really feeling lonely and depressed, you do need to get some help, right? Whether it's a coach or a counselor, depending on the level that you have, that's something that you should consider. But I know it's difficult for everybody right now, being distanced from family, even within China. I mean, we take this for granted, but there's a lot of Chinese people who haven't seen their families for a couple of years either because they're in different places. So we really have to think about how are we going to cope with that and support each other. So thank you, ladies. Back to you.
Thank you. Josephine was just saying herself that they did a Zoom movie during Christmas Day. I've heard about this before. I've never tried it. It's really good inspiration to try this out. Okay, last but not least, the last part now is, so we mentioned the year-end stress. And I think what is interesting to look at is actually some reflections or like some statistics of why it is useful to reflect, because I know we only have a few days left in this year. It's the 27th of December today, and you probably still have a huge to-do list and so on. But why do we need to reflect? The University of Zurich actually found out that reflecting can really help you to overcome past challenges that help you, and it can really like help you to better process those negative experiences and negative emotions that may come up. And people who actually do this, they have the ability to use these kind of moments even as a source of, yes, creativity and motivation. Another statistic said that this is the Association for Psychological Science, and they said that people who reflect on time and also on who they are, this means self-awareness, it makes them less likely to actually cheat or be dishonest. That's what like Alysia and Sofia just spoke about, right? It's about also like honesty and like knowing your boundaries, saying, no, I don't want to be with you. No, I don't want to be with somebody during Christmas. I want to be with myself, which is okay. So people feel more encouraged to really act in a way they want to, and it will make them feel proud of themselves. Just to mention one more statistic. So Rice University study, they concluded that one's personal belongings reduce the desire to impulsively buy a new product. So we were just speaking about this, right? And earlier we had a question in a group chat where it said like, what can I do to control my budget, to not spend too much on some kind of presents for everybody? So participants of Rice University study, they actually reflected on a possession that they recently used, and they had less of an urge to go shopping. Interesting, right? So right now, a lot of us, we're probably in the process of doing a forecast in our company maybe, and planning the next year. Now, let me give you a bit of advice of what else can we do. Why not set some intentions next to just like planning for the next year? Set a few more intentions. And it was interesting yesterday when I joined Alysia in Alicia's company in the Soul Well Wellness Center, her activity, she came up with this little ball that we would hang on a Christmas tree, right? And then she said, because she's a very creative person. And then she said, you know what? Why don't we just put some little papers inside and we write down our intentions? So I have this ball, and basically like I'm going to put it up on my Christmas tree now every year. And as you can see here, I took some yellow and red papers and I wrote down a few intentions. At the same time, I even wrote down a few things that I'm grateful for. And you know what? I even decided to write down, just dropped my microphone. I just said that, I just came up even with some intentions for the old year, new year, and so on. So set some intentions of what you really intend to do or focus on still this year. You have 4 days left. Don't overwhelm yourself. Focus, prioritize, and do not just only focus on the next year. Intentions are very powerful. And then beyond this, I just quickly mention this. Why not also write down a few things of what is it that you're actually grateful for? So for the people who actually have our book, you know that every week we have this one section here with gratitude journaling, right? So we always ask you every week, write down, what are you grateful for? And what you could do is also to write down, what are you grateful for from this year? Not just this day or this week. You can focus on the year. Last but not least, now this is about the end of the year reflections. So I would like to give you like a list of really good questions that can help you to really reflect on your year and how it went. We just learned of why it is actually useful, right? Number 1, was 2021 a good or a bad year? Actually, it's funny. Yesterday, I was biking, and I was actually reflecting a conversation with my mother like 2 days ago. I gave a training in Shenzhen on Christmas, actually on the 25th. And I sent this link with pictures from the client, from the training, to my mom. And then when I did a recap and I was thinking, what did my mom actually say about the pictures? And the funny thing is, I remember she said something positive. But what I actually remembered was she criticized something. Oh yeah, because I always have to wear my client's dress. She said, oh yeah, this dress didn't look good. I said, okay, but I thought the other one, the red one, looked pretty good on me, no? Said, yeah, that's true. But she really focused on, no, this other dress doesn't fit your body type. You did not look that good on this.
Negative bias, right?
Exactly. So then I realized, we learned to give positive feedback first. And then we say, okay, what could be improved, right? And what I actually put my attention on was really, my mom said that dress that my client wanted me to wear to give the training to their clients didn't look good on you. So what do I want to tell you with this? Now, asking yourself, was 2021 a good or a bad year? I think for many of us, maybe you know the same, we come up with all these bad things. Damn it, COVID continued. We can't go home. We can't travel. We can't do this. Negativity. But that's why we do the reflections, because I want you guys to also focus on the positive things. And I'm sure there's so many good things that still happened this year. Ask yourself, what specific moments were good this past year? But also, there's two sides of the coin. What moments were bad this past year? And it's not about complaining, it's about rationally reflecting here. What things did you do right? And then the other side again, what mistakes did you make? I actually don't regret anything. I'm not saying I'm perfect or something, but it's not that I did something that I absolutely regret. But it is true, I made some mistakes that if I go into the situation, I probably would do it a little bit differently because I'm wiser, I'm older, more mature now, right? It happens. We're humans. We all make mistakes, and that's totally okay. Just reflect on it. And I'm sure there's some lessons learned you can take from many situations. How did you grow as a person? Again, many of us, and I know a few of you who are joining here today, you're so tough on yourself, right, Bota? Or Sophia, always putting the pressure on the shoulders and feeling like, oh, we're never good enough. I suck. I should have done this better, and so on. So just reflect and focus your attention on how did you grow as a person. And yes, Buddha sending us smiles. Many of us who are here today, I think we all have grown a lot in all different kinds of paths. How would you have done things differently? That's what I asked you. What are the lessons learned you got? What can you learn more about to make yourself better? Yes, it's about self-awareness and self-love. I want you to love and accept yourself the way you are. But maybe there's something that we can still improve a little bit in a way how we maybe communicate or interact with other people, for example. Or like here, Alysia was talking about boundaries. I think Alysia and I, we spoke about boundaries a couple of times in the last few months, right? It's definitely something I have to improve. This year, I think I really learned more about my boundaries for myself towards my clients. It's also about self-care that Sophia mentioned earlier. So yeah, there's always something that we can improve. What are your goals and resolutions? And that is actually something we're going to talk about next Monday. What are some actions that you can do to improve next year? Yes, having goals and a plan is good, but we gotta take action. That's why you guys also come on Monday morning to our webinars, right? And last but not least, to sum it up, what are your final thoughts? Now, let me think. Final thoughts on 2021? Overall, to be honest, I'm satisfied. Yes, I have this little saboteur inside my head that still says, oh, come on, Janine, you could have done better, but putting the saboteur aside, I still achieved a lot this year. It was a good year. We live a great life here in China. We can be grateful. I've had my Christmas markets, my Oktoberfest that I could not have done back in Germany or somewhere else. So to be honest, overall, it's still a good year. My business grew. I have more of a family now in Shanghai. So don't be too hard on yourself.
I love your question. How did you grow as a person? Because it kind of makes me see my life in perspective, like as an helicopter view, of yourself from the very beginning of the year to the last day, let's say to the last days. So it's a really nice question.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, so last but not least, New Year's resolutions and setting your yearly theme. We're going to do this next Monday, so join me. We just mentioned why it's so important to reflect on this. And now I'm going to open the stage for you guys. Feel free to ask us any kind of questions, sharings that you have with us. We're grateful you're with us this morning and you did not make excuses.
Yes.
You can unmute yourself. You can just use the chat group as you like. Nice. Soiree from India is joining us as well this morning. So we're always a very international community.
I think we have some gratitude here.
Oh, yes, Pete. Thank you, everyone. I'm grateful to be here, but I need to go. Have a great day, Pete. Thanks for joining.
Thank you.
Oh, nice. So many faces. Hi, Rosaline.
We also had somebody who asked about the poem, so I dropped it into the chat if anybody wanted to see it.
Yeah, I think we also shared Alicia's poem in the MMM groups the last 3 days. We can maybe share it again today. I really liked it. It was very deep. Thank you, Sarah, for your compliment. Any questions? Any more sharings? Oh, Rosaline, I love your Christmas hat. We should get some for next year.
Yes, I think maybe one like Alicia's one. I really like her hat.
Gotta love the leopard print.
Oh, Bota is sharing. Year
yes.
Compass is a free booklet that helps you reflect on the year and plan the next one with a set of carefully selected questions and exercises. Year Compass helps you uncover your own patterns and design the ideal year for yourself.
Wow.
Nice. Thanks for sharing. Check out the chat group, guys, that Bota has just shared in all languages almost. Amazing.
Yes, I've actually checked that out. A couple of people sent that to me, Boda. It is really great, very comprehensive, a lot of pages, and actually we're going to use one or two of those parts of that for an intention setting workshop that Sarah and I are going to be doing at Soulwell on Sunday. So yeah, it's great.
Awesome. I'm gonna check it out for sure.
Alysia, do you want to read your poem? Do you want to read it to us?
As a closing?
Eddie, do people want that?
Yes.
Yes.
And then you have 30 minutes for this. Then we gotta go to work. And we see the cat in the background.
All right, let me share the screen and then I can put it on there
Sure.
so that people can see it. So let's see, I'm gonna share. Hopefully.
Yeah, everybody's saying Bota better. They all want to hear your poem.
All right, I haven't read this out loud before, but okay, can you see it now?
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am. The stage is yours.
All right. The calendar says Christmas, but this year feels quite strange, since 2 years with pandemic made the world rearrange. Far away from my family due to many restrictions, as my hopes for this year turned from dreams into fictions. The calendar says Christmas, but here there's no snow, no fireplace, candy, or fun mistletoe. This year has been tough, taking such energy that I hadn't enough to put up any tree. The calendar says Christmas, but there's no presents here. Maybe Santa got quarantined with his 8 flying deer. Festive films in the background, but in reality, my Christmas is nothing like a Hallmark movie. The calendar says Christmas, but this time there's less bustle, with the great resignation increasing our hustle. So I chose peace, alone time, best to rest and lay low. But I woke up to hammers from the flat down below. Holidays bring emotions that are up, down, and vary, and it is okay not to feel always merry. So connect with your loved ones, just pick up your phone, because this challenging Christmas, I know I'm not alone. The calendar says Christmas, and though it's not ideal, I'm still thankful for blessings that hard times conceal. So yes, it is Christmas, but to be quite sincere, I'm awaiting a happier, better new year. There you go.
Awesome. Thank you so much, dear Alysia.
Thank you so much, Alysia. I really resonated a lot with that poem. I was reading it on Christmas Day and I was like, okay, I feel understood.
Very, very deep, I would say.
Thank you so much, Alysia, and thank you everyone that has joined us today. It was a beautiful Monday morning in holiday season, right? So thank you so much, guys. Reduce that stress of the holiday. Make sure you have fun and you are present. I think those are the best things really to live a nice holiday. So everyone, happy Christmas, and we want to wish you a happy Monday morning as always.
Yes, take care, guys. Happy Monday.
Happy
Start
Monday.
taking action and reflect.
Happy holidays.
See you all in 2022.
Yes, exactly. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Happy Monday.
Bye, Rosaline, Sue, Amy,
Bye.
Ching, Soiree, David, Joey, Tiffany, Bill, Hannah, Lillian, Better,
It's like rap.
Tanika, Max, Steven, Nancy, Victoria, and some Francis, and some Chinese names that I don't know. Nice to see you, Amy.
真假音的 something like that. All right, guys, have an awesome day.
David, you look good. Take care. Be warm.
Take
Bye-bye.
care, guys. Bye.